Hey everybody, this is Chris with Surf Financial Brokers, and this is our Surf Financial Brokers channel, and where we talk about insurance needs and what is the best policy for you. We talk about life and health insurance, disability, long-term care, all those things. And we're sponsored by surffinancialbrokers.com, your friends with living benefits. And you can go to friendswithlivingbenefits.com and it takes you right back to our site. So, but we got a great guest here today. It's a buddy of mine. I've known him for a long time. He's appeared on my other YouTube channel, and he is a health insurance Medicare expert. Knows all those things, and he's bondable in about 4 states. So anyway, this is Davan Johnson. Davan, thanks for coming on, taking a little time to talk with us. And just give us a quick overview of what your business is and who your clientele is.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Chris. It's always a pleasure having conversations with you. You never know what we're going to get into. So,
Now, there's been some bunny trails in the past.
yeah, so Davan Enterprises, created Davan Enterprises. It's probably about 12, 14, maybe even 15 years old at this point. Time flies when you're having fun, right? And I got the gray hairs. So, yeah. Well, you ain't got much hair left. I'm working there. I'm getting there.
It
But
comes from thriving on rejection, selling long-term care
yeah.
insurance.
We got a wide a range of experience from independent and captive agencies, from home and auto, P&C insurance, commercial insurance, and eventually we kind of found our way to our favorite niche, and that's mainly health insurance, Medicare, and life insurance. That's where we really like to thrive and found our passion helping people in that way. So that's kind of a little bit of the background of Davan
And
Enterprises. And
you're
yeah,
and you're
we're in.
pretty much. Let me jump in here real quick because geographically, your service area is where? Like I know you're Tennessee.
Yeah, we're right on the border of Tennessee and Virginia. And so it's great geographically. I can be in a lot of major cities within about 4 or 5 hours, where I'm at. So anywhere from Nashville to Charlotte, Richmond, DC, Atlanta, wherever. So it's really great geographically. And we're licensed in all of the Southeast, and we have some licenses out in the West as well. Not all, but 2 states. Eventually I'll work my way to California, maybe.
I just had to get my Colorado license for some crazy reason.
Oh.
I had a vendor that wanted me to get my Colorado license. Hey, Colorado, look me up. I can help
Yeah.
you out now.
Never been to it, but I got a license.
I've never been anywhere, which is ironic because the what we were going to talk about today is travel insurance. A lot of people don't know that, you can get travel insurance if you're planning a big trip or, that once in a lifetime trip, or you're going to go on a cruise. I have friends that go on cruises all the time, and I don't go anywhere. I
Well, I
prefer,
mean, you live at the beach, my guy. Why
well,
would
I live
you?
at the beach, and
Everyone comes to see you.
yeah, it's like my mother asked me one time, like, where do people at the beach go on vacation? And I'm like, outside. I don't know. So, so yeah, I mean, but I've added a whole new meaning to the word cocooning. If I could just stay in my house all day, I'm like, ah. So anyway, but you are a world traveler, and so I wanted to ask you. You and I were talking the other day when we were planning this about travel insurance, and we're both appointed with the same carrier, I think. And and you did your homework and read the brochures, and I usually wait till I have a client that asks me a question, and I go, "Let me get back to you on that one," because I'm just ADD. So 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 let me ask you a question. When now I know for a fact that people can come to your website and get your information and everything. Do you have the travel insurance available on your website like I do?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
So people can actually go in there, they can click a link and they can look at the brochures and get a quote and apply all in the same place. I kind of figured a long time ago, before COVID happened, that as people were going to start buying, the trend was people was buying more insurance online and through 800 numbers. And if that's where they're going to buy it, then why not buy it from an agent? And that way they have that extra resource and support. So everything that we do, someone can go to our website and basically quote and apply without ever talking to me.
I know. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, when you wake up in the morning and somebody's, bought a little policy or something or
Yeah,
started
and
an
it's a
application.
wonderful email to wake up to.
Yeah, it's if people don't get it, I tell them all the time. I go, when you go ahead and just buy something from the website, or if you give me a referral, that means I spend more time working on your stuff
Mhm.
and less time having to go out and find new clients,
That's right.
and people don't realize that prospecting for us is really takes up a lot of time and a
A
lot
lot
of
of time.
money. And, but back to travel insurance. Um, are now there's two basic kinds of policies.
Mhm.
There's the ones that cover you in case you get sick while you're on your trip or have some
Mhm.
sort of health emergency, medical emergency. And then there's ones that just cover you for, like, if the trip gets canceled, if there's a hurricane or something. Is that
Yeah.
correct? Am
So
I getting that right?
yeah, I mean you're fairly accurate. So there are some that's just specifically for medical coverage. When you're abroad and overseas. And then there are the other plans, the majority of the plans that we sell is going to be travel insurance, which also includes a bit of medical insurance in there. It's not a full medical coverage benefit, but it does cover for, it's basically accident. So, accidental death, dismemberment, there's some medical evacuation benefit in there as well. But as far as actual true medical insurance, if you're sick, injured, things like that, you can get a specific medical insurance
This is
policy.
so that starts after you go on your trip, though. Like
That's right. Yep.
if you had cancer and then you went on your cruise and you're out in the ocean and they had to medevac you out for emergency treatment, would that count? Or
So there are some policies that will include a pre-existing condition on there that would cover it. It just depends on the type of policy. And of course, as every carrier does, they offer different levels of coverage.
right,
So if you're willing, it depends. You and I both know that you can get anything covered as long as you're willing to spend the money for it.
right. And of course, the more you pay, the more benefit you're going to have on the
That's
back end
right.
when you need it. You know,
Yeah. Now there's also a lot of people don't know. I get calls all the time for someone that booked a trip back in, 3, 4, 5 months ago. Now they're getting ready to do their trip. And they're like, oh, gee, now I should get the travel insurance. Well, sometimes that can be a bad thing. There is a limited deadline of getting the purchasing the travel insurance within like making your first deposit in order to cover certain benefits. So like cancel for any reason or a pre-existing condition, things of that nature. So when you're booking your trip, you need to go ahead and book your travel insurance at that same time if possible.
that's a good idea. I would have never thought that. It would have probably been more, like, wow, I just remembered there's this thing out there.
Yeah, it happens. It happens though. And I'm not saying that they can't get it. If they booked it, 4 or 5 months, a year ago to the time that they travel, it's just that they may not have all of the bells and whistles that they could have gotten if they booked it when they first, if they got it when they first booked their travel. But the other thing is it's not as expensive as most people think. Now, I've done only one true, really, well, I guess kind of expensive policy. I did a quote for this person who was honestly doing a once in a lifetime round the world trip. So they had a lot that they were insuring, the value of the trip and whatnot. And honestly, the value of what they were paying, it was over six figures for this trip, and the travel insurance was about 1,000 or something dollars for them
Yeah.
to insure this $100,000 or more trip. Like what is that? 1% of the cost
So
total?
when they figure up the cost of their trip, which
Hmm.
I'm assuming that's what the policy is going to be based off of,
Yeah.
um, are they including travel, like the actual transportation. So in that case, they may be it's going to probably be part cruises, part rail, maybe, from one place to another, some airline fees. You're
Sure.
figuring all that in, plus hotel accommodations,
Mhm.
um, and what else? Food? Can you figure food in, or do you just
No, not really. I don't think I'm looking at, I've never seen that as a
like if
covered
you ended up in the
expense,
Middle
but
East and you had if you were in the Middle East and you had a bad kebab, could
I mean, I guess, yeah, I might cover some of the medical portion of that, perhaps. Maybe, if it was a really deadly kebab, repatriation of your
well, yeah.
organs.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out, like, if you're figuring it up as like a per diem per day, like just budgeting money per day to eat. If you could,
Yeah.
if when you go to the travel insurance site,
Uh,
you say, hey, it's going to be $45,000 trip, but it's going to be 46 if you figure in I'm going to have to eat.
Yeah, I mean, so it's based on a few factors. So you're looking at where you're going, how long the trip is. So we'll plug in the beginning date. So the time that you leave your door of your house to the time that you return to your house. So that's your beginning and end dates. Also, age of travelers can be a big factor. The two biggest factors I have seen is that the age of the traveler, so the older you are, and then also the value of the trip. So those are I think the two biggest rating factors when it comes
Yeah.
to the price of travel insurance. For
Yeah. I mean, that
me,
makes sense because,
yeah, I mean, the average cost I usually see for most of the trips that I've been insuring is usually between, I don't know, about 150 to maybe $300. And we're talking about those that are even traveling to go do Israel tours, you know.
yeah, that was my next question. When you're, is there like, not to be all doom and gloom. Is there like terrorism riders or exclusions? I
Yeah,
mean, because I know
so
for a while, this carrier that we both have
mhm,
wasn't covering trips to Israel there right after the whole
yeah.
Gaza thing started. So I think they've lifted that now.
They
But
did. Yep.
you
So
know,
they have, depending on what the State Department publishes, if if they have, I can't remember exactly what the technical jargon is that they use. If it's more than it's a travel alert, but it's a do not travel type warning that they have. If they have that on a country that you're traveling to, then most likely the carrier is not going to cover if you decide to go. Now, if you had the travel insurance booked beforehand, you were planning that trip, and then all of a sudden you get the travel warning, the travel ban on that country that you're traveling to, then that would be probably considered a trip cancellation or a trip interruption. So you could probably claim the value of the trip on there and wait for a safer time to rebook the trip.
right? Yeah.
But
Uh,
if you decide to go ahead and go, ignoring the warning, then it's probably, common sense. You're probably not going to have the coverage if something were to happen. But if something happens while you're in country and then, things start going haywire, they do have emergency evacuation benefit, whether it's political, like I said, medical, security, personal security issues. So that they do offer a or natural disaster, they do offer that emergency evacuation benefit to get
yeah.
you out of the country to get you safe.
So if you see that everybody else is running to the boats, you might want to make sure.
Yep.
Oh, and
Call the travel insurance company so you can find the next flight out.
on a little bit of a off topic here for a minute. I didn't know if you were aware of this, but most life insurance policies that we sell have exclusions for things. If you commit suicide in the first 2 years,
Mhm.
whatever, and things like that. But one of them is acts of terror and war.
Yeah.
And after 9/11, people, of course, everybody was all emotional and everything about it. And the insurance companies made this huge, yeah, as an insurance agent, I was going, wow, I wonder if they're going to pay all these death claims, because that was obviously an act of terrorism. And I think it would have been just a huge public relations nightmare for these companies if they had not paid. So they
Sure.
kind of pivoted a little bit and they went, well, we didn't mean domestic terrorism. We meant over there. If you were in Turkey and something blew up, that's something else.
Right.
And so I always thought it was funny how they just kind of quickly said, no, 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 no. We'll pay these claims. Everybody's
Hey,
that also
there's
shows you
something
how long I've been selling insurance.
to public demand
Yeah, I
sometimes.
mean that people would have gone nuts if they didn't pay the 9/11 claims.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
anyway,
not
back
all
to
P
travel
maybe
insurance.
not all PR is good PR
Yeah, I know, really,
after
exactly.
all.
You're you're preaching to the choir over here. So back to the travel insurance though. So if should this be something that you get just for a weekend jaunt to New York City, or should it be something that, I mean, is there a threshold financially? Like I wouldn't
Um,
insure anything under a $2,000 trip or something like
yeah.
that.
I don't know. I haven't had anyone try and do something below, like $1,000 trip before. I mean, I'd assume it's probably feasible. It really just depends on the person's comfort level and the risk. As you and I, working insurance, all insurance is a transfer of risk. So if something were to happen, if you don't have that much invested into it, is it worth doing the insurance for? Or would you rather just, chalk it up? It's like going to Walmart and buying a $15 pair of headphones, and they ask you if you want the 2-year warranty or insurance plan on it. It's like, nah, I'll just buy it again.
Oh man.
So
And I don't like Walmart, and I don't know if we've ever had that discussion in the past. I always say
no.
Walmart is where you go to watch other people beat their kids because there's always one getting smacked in the shopping cart, he's standing up or whatever.
Yeah.
But
No,
I
I've
get what you're
got
saying. It's if you're there again, if I was planning a Thanksgiving weekend trip to New York City to go see the parade and everything, that might set me back $4,000 or $5,000
yeah.
just for hotel rooms and food and stuff. That might be worth having a little policy. But if I'm just going to go to south of the border, and for those of you who aren't familiar with south of the
Yeah.
border,
You might want to explain that one.
you might want to go. South of the border is a little kitschy place right on the border of North and South Carolina. Um, and anybody that's ever been on I-95 has seen the billboards, and it's been there since like the 50s. Got a weird vibe lately when you go there. But anyway, not the place you would go on like a vacation. And
Yeah.
so we kind of throw it out there all the time. It's like, hey, I'm taking my wife there for the weekend, that kind
It's
of
one of
thing.
those National Lampoon type stops,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. If they found out about it, it would make it even better. So, well,
Yeah.
Evan, have you got any parting advice or anything like that?
It's I didn't used to think about a whole lot of travel insurance until like really COVID happened. I've been, as you say, I like the cruises and I like traveling a lot. And I never started buying travel insurance myself until after COVID and started seeing more and more instances of things happening when you're traveling or abroad. And, people, in my opinion, if you're going to spend and save thousands of dollars for vacations and maybe, if you got a large family, I've got a friend of mine who's got 8 people, including him and his wife and his family. They're on a cruise this week and it's costing them $10,000. And this is their first time doing a vacation probably ever. Because it's a lot to take a family that size. And, for someone to risk spending that kind of money on a vacation, and then if something were to happen, someone gets sick, someone doesn't make it, they don't have their passports, or they lost their passport on the way to the port, and it's back at home, and now they can't board the ship, or fly out of the country or whatever, or something happens out of the country. There's all kinds of things that could happen. So why wouldn't you spend just a little bit extra just to ensure, that vacation so that your family isn't out completely?
Yeah.
There's so many horror stories that's out there. I got all kinds of cruise examples. Um, You can look it up on the news. You got the dock runners. You can watch YouTube videos of people who went out shopping too long, or they got drunk and forgot what time they were supposed to be back to the ship, or maybe they booked an excursion that was off the ship that they bought there inside the port, and the trip of the tour came back late and the ship is waving by. Now in order to, they're stuck in a foreign country
Yeah.
and trying to get back to maybe meet the ship where it's going to its next port to get back on, or trying to get out of that country, or flying back home. All kinds of things could happen. So why wouldn't you spend just a little bit extra to ensure?
Have you ever had the example where somebody left the boat, bought something, and then they weren't allowed back on the boat with that, whatever they bought? And
Yeah,
I don't
people
want to
think that
say
you
the
can
name
buy
of
some
any
drugs.
countries. Um, I don't I don't want to say the names of any countries, but they rhyme with Bambaca.
uh, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
mine, I bought this bag.
Yeah, that happens too. You don't see it as often, or it's not maybe doesn't make the news, but rest assured, it happens. And oftentimes, this last trip I took was probably the first trip I've taken to this one particular island where I did not see the bobbies, the local police coming to take someone off the ship, arresting them because of some incident that happened on the ship. So this is the first time I've been to this one island where I didn't see someone being, escorted off,
Yeah.
which was kind of amazing. But every other time I've been to this one particular island, I always see that.
Wow. Um, I
It's
don't know what kind of places you go. So,
well, I kind of stick to myself, but my wife likes to go out shopping. If it was me, I would never get off the ship. Everything I need is there and it's free.
yeah, I don't know. I don't get it either. Um, so should how do I bring this up? I'm trying to ask, how would you communicate this message of travel insurance to our friends in the travel agency space?
Oh goodness. So I work with the travel agency pretty regularly and they put together trips all the time. And what I've learned in working with them is they can offer, I guess travel agents have a way that they can offer travel insurance, but they're not experts in that, right? They want to help you have the best vacation that you can and helping you plan out all the logistics. And then they do offer, this on the side. But our partnership has been that, hey, the travel agency, they focus on the client and their vacation, and then we help their clients insure that trip. So if something the unexpected happens, they're not at a total loss.
Yeah,
So we're the insurance experts. They're the travel experts.
right.
So
So if you're a
it's
travel
it's a
agent out
good.
there,
Mhm.
for all of our travel agents out there that might be watching this, um, you know, hook up with me and Davin and let us
Yeah,
help you out. And, we can tell you all kinds of stuff and give you information. And, you know, I don't know. I always like finding what we call strategic partnerships.
that's right.
You
Yep.
know, I love working with accountants, because they always send me client. They don't send you the broke clients, oddly enough. So,
Yeah.
yeah, travel agents, hook us up. And Davin, if somebody needs to reach you, what's the easiest way for them to reach you there in your metro Tennessee area, Virginia line throughout the Southeast?
Yeah, so first we got our website, www.davan, that's Davan, enterprises.com. So davanenterprise.com is our website. And then, of course, our phone, 423-689-3061, or give us a call. And, the great thing is, even if if I'm out of the country myself and I'm not here to answer the phone, and you need to reach out to your insurance carrier directly, our phone system will give you the option to forward you to your insurance company. So
Nice, nice. Yeah, I don't go through all that. So
I like to say we're a small agency with a big agency feel, I guess.
yeah, sure. Yeah,
It's
people
like,
call me and I'll be like, sitting on the beach and somebody will go, "Hey, how do I file a claim?" And I'll go, "Let me call you back in about 3 hours." And I hope it's not an emergency. If it's an emergency, call 911, like every
right.
like every other medical thing out there.
Oh gosh, yeah, I hate that. It's like, well, if I want 911, I call 911, but I'm calling you.
Yeah. Oh man, I've got, I don't know what it is, but my phone number, my cell number is one digit off from a local timeshare resort here in town.
Uh,
And I get their calls. And it's I can always tell because it's a weird area code or something. And they're like, "Where's the ice machine?" And I'm like, "Take a left out of your room," and giving them fake directions, whatever. I want to cancel
oh.
my reservations. I'm like, "Done," and I don't ask their name or anything, just hang up. So so
Chris is the worst employee you guys have.
I know, really, who is this guy?
I called him. He got me lost trying to find the ice machine. He probably doesn't even know where the
There's
bathroom is
probably
yet.
some poor guy walking up and down North Myrtle Beach right now trying to find the ice machine still from 2014. So, all right, Davin. Well, I appreciate you coming on and walking us
Yeah.
through the travel insurance. And I've learned more than I probably would have learned if I had read the brochures. Uh, I'm not a real reader when it comes to stuff like that, but thanks for coming on. And if
Yeah.
anybody needs Davin, they can reach him at davanenterprises.com. I'll put his website in the show notes. And thanks for watching. And if you need any insurance help, have any life or health questions, um, you can reach out to me or Davin. So have a good one. Thanks for watching.